Speech Diaries. Hello, my name is Loretta M. Zajac, and today I'm going to read to you my story, One Little Stone. Sometimes people do strange things that are odd and peculiar. Maybe they're crazy, or maybe there is something more that we don't see or understand. This is one of those stories. Now, One Little Stone. It was early June when Layla's father decided to landscape his yard. One day, a truck backed into his driveway, dumping a pile of white stones. Layla and her sister were there to help hose down the dust that followed and did a very good job until their friends came over. It didn't take long before the children were in Layla's backyard playing with their toys. They were having so much fun, but stopped when they heard an unusual sound coming from the side of the house. Curious, the kids peeked their heads around the corner. What do you think they saw? Standing at the side of the house, staring down at the stones, was the lady that lived across the street. After a few seconds of doing nothing at all, the woman bent down and picked up a stone, clenched it in her fist, turned, and walked away. The children began to laugh, dubbing her the crazy stone stealer, and mimicked what she did for the rest of the day. That night, when Layla's father was tucking her into bed, she told him about the lady taking the stone. He paused for a second and then replied, "Perhaps she needed it for something. It's no problem. It was just one little stone." Later, Layla's dad looked out of his bedroom window and could see the lady sitting on her porch. He could tell that she was looking at the stone she had taken, but he wondered why she was crying. Did she feel guilty? He thought about going over and asking her what was wrong, but he didn't want to upset her more than she already seemed. And so he went downstairs to watch TV with his wife, and nothing more was ever said. It had been nearly 18 months since he had passed, and the pain of that loss was not getting any easier to bear. There had been a few subtle signs that, in her mind, were messages from heaven. His initials spray painted on a signal box that she noticed while working, songs on the radio that made her think of him, and seeing some of the things that she knew he loved. When picking out flowers for her garden box, she found petunias that were red and gold, and so she bought them to honor him, because his favorite NFL team was the San Francisco 49ers. She had nothing of his to hold on to, no old sweater or keepsake. Therefore, every little memory, greeting card, or text from him became her most precious possessions. She even had a message that he sent her that said, "I love you too, Ma," laminated to carry in her wallet. Then one day, while sitting on her front porch, thinking of the son she missed so much, a Hamilton Builders supply truck backed into her neighbor's driveway. She smiled because that's where her boy worked before he died. He used to fill bags with stones when he first started. Eventually, though, he climbed his way up the ladder until he became the manager of purchasing. She was so proud of him. This was surely another sign reassuring her that he is always with her. That same day, she crossed the street, heading to her neighbor's house. Slowly, she walked up to the pile of stones the truck had dropped, then nonchalantly took one. Tightly, she held the white rock and raised it to her chest, then turned and walked back home. It was almost nightfall, and still she sat on her porch, looking at the white stone in her hand. One day she would return it to her neighbor, But at that moment, it filled her heart with magic. The closeness she felt to her son was stronger than it had been for months, and she began to weep. It's crazy, isn't it? That a pebble meant more to that old lady than 10,000 diamonds ever would. And so she got up, went into her house, walked upstairs to her bedroom, and placed one little stone beside the picture of the son she missed so much.